Poem Analysis by Sophie K. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. The free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wings in the orange sun's rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade wind soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn-bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams, his shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom.
The theme statement of I Know Why the Free Bird Sings is freedom is something that is wanted so passionately that even in the most dreary of circumstances, hope for it will blossom and grow. We're first going to look at the tone and mood. In I Know Why the Free Bird Sings, there are two perspectives, the free bird and the caged bird. So here we have the free bird, here we have the caged bird, the caged bird, the free bird, the caged bird, and then the caged bird. In the first one, the mood is relaxed because the bird leaps, he floats, he dips his wing, he dares to claim the sky. But in the next one about the caged bird, the mood is passionate. He stalks down his narrow cage, and can't see through his bars of rage. But his wings are clipped, his feet are tied, but he still opens his throat to sing. Despite those circumstances, he still opens his throat to sing. So the tone of the third stanza is still about the caged bird, and it's hopeful because his fearful trill, it's unknown what's going to happen, but he's still longing for it, and people on other lands can hear it, and so it's hopeful that he will get this freedom. So then we come back to the free bird, and he's thinking of like another thought, another breeze. He sees the sighing trees on the dawn-bright lawn, and again we get this relaxed mood. So then we come down to the fourth stanza of the caged bird. We come to the fourth stanza of the caged bird, and we get this passionate mood again. He stands on this grave of dreams. He has a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, but he still opens his throat to sing. He's passionate about this. He sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, but he's still going for them. He wants it bad, and other people can hear him, so the mood is hopeful. The tone of this is calm and direct. Maya wants her readers to know that her message is important, so she keeps it direct and to the point. Next, we're going to look at the diction and imagery. So she uses all these words about the free bird, like floats, dips, the orange sun's rays, he dares to claim the sky. They're all these nice words that have a calm and lazy connotation. But then when she's talking about the caged bird, she uses these words like stalks, bars of rage. He opens his throat to sing even though his wings are clipped and tied. He has this fearful trill. He wants stuff, but he doesn't know if he's going to get it. He's singing of freedom, so we get this passionate, hopeful words that make us want this bird to succeed. And that brings us to this last stanza, which is again repeated of his fearful trill of things unknown. And we're ending up rooting for this caged bird because his life is hard, but he still fights for this freedom, so we want him to succeed. So through her diction and her use of imagery, she makes us have these perceptions about the birds, and she makes us want the caged bird to succeed. So Maya Angelou was really exposed to slavery, the troubles of slavery and racism in her life. Both her parents had first-hand experiences with it, and so she was very passionate about ending this slavery and racism, so she wrote and sang about it. She became very musically oriented. So in her work, we can see how this musical oriented. She rhymes her words starts with a melodic tune, so when you read it, you get this nice sense of flow. She's like, on the back of the wind till the current ends, you get this nice flow, and then you keep going. And in the main stanza that's repeated 2 times, she goes, the fearful trill, but longed for still on the distant hill, and then she changes it to freedom, to emphasize that freedom is important, but you still get this nice flow. But then when she wants to emphasize something, she does. So through all her rhyming, throughout the poem, we get that she was very musically oriented, and we can see her background coming through, because we know it's about something that's not free, and she wants it to be free, so we can see her roots coming through. The symbolism Maya Angelou uses relates back to her author background, because we know she grew up in a time of racism, so we can tell that the free bird is actually a free white man, and the caged bird is not a free black man, and so he can't see through his anger. He has this limited perspective, and then his trill is his message that he's singing, and his tune he wants everyone to hear, and they do hear it. They hear it on distant hills, on other lands. So when we go to the free bird, he thinks of another breeze. He thinks of something else that could be done, but he doesn't necessarily do it. And then we come back and we go to his grave of dreams, his lost fights, and he shouts on the nightmare scream. This world is terrified of not having racism, and he knows he can't do anything about it, but he does whatever he can. He just shouts his message to the world, and they do hear it on other hills. He wants this freedom.
Sympathy by Paul Dunbar. I know what the caged bird feels, alas, when the sun is bright on the upland slopes, when the wind stirs soft through the springing grass, and the river flows like a stream of glass, when the first bird sings and the first bud opes, and the faint perfume from its chalice steals. I know what the caged bird feels. I know why the caged bird beats his wing till its blood is red on the cruel bars, for he must fly back to his perch and cling, when he fain would be on the bough a swing, and a pain still throbs in the old scars, and they pulse again with a keener sting. I know why he beats his wing. I know why the caged bird sings, ah me, when his wing is bruised and his bosom sore, when he beats his bars, and he would be free. It is not a carol of joy or glee, but a prayer that he sends from his heart's deep core, but a plea that upward to heaven he flings. I know why the caged bird sings.
The theme of Sympathy by Paul Dunbar is freedom is something that is wanted so passionately that even in the most dreary of circumstances, hope for it will blossom and grow. Now we're going to look at the tone and mood of Sympathy by Paul Dunbar. So, he has this passionate tone, because we can tell he's comparing himself to the caged bird, but he knows he's going to keep fighting no matter what, even when he's bleeding, and these other free birds, they don't have to do anything in the world, but he doesn't care. He's going to keep fighting till the end. And the mood of each stanza is different. The first one, I know what the caged bird feels last, is sad because it's springtime and the caged bird can't enjoy the spring. The second stanza, the mood is passionate because he's throbbing everywhere. His blood is all over, but he's still fighting. And then the third is, again, hopeful because he's flinging his message upward to the heavens, hoping that they hear it and will grant his wish of freedom. We're going to look at the diction and imagery now. So, in this poem, in the first stanza, we can tell it's springtime because he's using these bright, stir soft. It's the first buds and the first opes and the faint perfume. We can tell it's spring, but the caged bird can't enjoy it because he's caged. He can't go out and enjoy it. The second stanza, we can tell the struggle is intense because his blood is red on the cruel bars, and this throb comes back on these old scars, and the old scars are past fights, and it comes with a keener sting, so he's gonna keep fighting until he gets what he wants. Then in the third stanza, we again get this diction of hope. It creates the mood because his bosom is sore, his wing is bruised, but he's still slavery and racism. Both his parents were slaves, so obviously he was exposed firsthand to racism throughout his life. He was very into the African American culture and became very musically oriented. So we can see that in his poems because he rhymes. He uses these rhyming schemes of glass and grass, steals, feels, wing, clean, swing, sting, wing, and soar, core, free, glee, fling, sings. And he uses these. It's this nice melodic tune when you read it, and you can tell he's writing a song with his words. So the symbolism in Sympathy is he's basically, in the beginning, he tells us, I to the caged bird. So he's comparing himself to a not free bird. And then we get all this stuff. We can tell from his diction that this is spring. And he knows what the caged bird feels because he can't be out there in the spring and enjoy freedom. And then we come and we get this cruel bar. It's the racism that's keeping him from freedom, from enjoying that springtime. And the old scars that still throb are his old fights that he lost. And he wants to keep fighting. He wants to get that freedom, and that's why he keeps trying to be free. And he sings, he fights, because he knows that it's just what he wants in life. He's going to go for what means the most to him. And so that's what he's flinging. That's the prayer. He's sending this prayer of freedom. If you didn't notice, the themes of both of these poems were the same. They both involved a caged bird who couldn't get out, who wasn't free, but he kept fighting for this freedom because it was important to him, and he wouldn't give him up no matter how dour the circumstances were. Even when his blood was bruised, and he was bruised, and he couldn't get that early worm, he couldn't just relax, he had to keep fighting, but it didn't matter because he wanted that freedom. We're excited. This is for